that are going on in society, and of all of the things and the rhetoric and the negativity and the toxicity, I wanted to start talking about the mental self because that is where all of the most effective warfare takes place. It doesn't take place on a battlefield. It takes place in between here, in between those ears. And if they can defeat you here, the rest is very, 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 very easy. So we want to get into the mental self, and the mental self. Uh, um, the highlight of the or the theme of the mental self is from the mind I rule and rise. Thus, the background that I have before me. This was one of the first that I did when I got this software back in 2013 or 2014. And it has come back around to mean so much more. The mental self is attached to the third eye chakra, and I have a saying about the mental self. Our thoughts become our things. Look around. Everybody, take a brief look. Even you, Jolene, in the car driving. Look around in your immediate environment, regardless if you own the place, rented, regardless of where you are, if you're at work, wherever you are right now, look around in your immediate environment. And guess what? Your thoughts created all of that. Where I'm sitting right now and what I am doing right now was a thought of mine years ago, or months ago, or weeks ago, or days ago, or this morning, or 15 minutes ago. Our thoughts become our things. Um, uh, you know, before there was a computer, somebody thought of a computer. Before there was Zoom call, somebody thought, hey, let's get everybody together and let's put them on. Let's let them show their faces and interact and talk. It became a thing. The chair you're sitting in, that car you driving, Jolene, was somebody's thought. Them shoes you got on, pretty much everything that we interact with here in 3D was a thought that manifests that someone else manifested. Your thoughts become your things. Your words are the vehicles by which the cosmos and the universe returns your manifestation. So what you set into motion with your mouth, your words, and what you believe in your thoughts, it shall be. It is so. You have to set it in motion, and then you have to believe. And part of your belief is injecting your own ambition, which is, I say the word ambition, but I really mean effort, meaning get up off of your own ass and do something. Because there is a piece to every manifestation. There's the cosmos part, and then there's your part. Cosmos will always do their part. You want to know? You want to wonder why your stuff ain't manifesting? It's not the cosmos' fault. When I was preaching in when I was preaching in the church years and years ago, like 3 or 4 lifetimes ago, it seems like. That's how long ago it was as far as where I am spiritually now. I preached a sermon once and I said, if God has moved, if you cannot locate God, guess who moved? It wasn't God. God's in the same place he's always been in. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The mental self, that's why it's attached to third eye chakra. Those of us that are really in tune with that third eye, we know it opens up and we can see and know everything. The third eye does more than see. It's seeing and knowing. It's an all-knowing eye as well. So from the mind, I, meaning you, your highest self, your master self, rules and rises. You ascend. Rise here means the ascension process. On a more biological, socio political, whatever correct status or level, The mental self influences, and this is my own definition. This didn't come out of no Webster's. This is out of PB Metatron's dictionary. This ain't out of Webster's or no collegiate version. This is Pyfors B. Metatron's Master Self Dictionary definition. Mental self is, it influences our judgment and decision-making abilities and determines our perspectives and how, not why, how we react to all situations. And I'm not really talking about good or indifferent. I'm talking about adversarial, confrontational, you know, your life is threatened, you in a life or death situation. I'm talking about that. Yes, Victorious. Oh, I thought you wanted to add something.
Oh, no, I was just muting.
Oh, okay. So, from our mind, from the mind is and how it's developed and how it has been nurtured and how it has been fed. Uh, uh, that's where we make our judgments. We make our judgments. We think about it, or if it's a split second judgment, it's something that is in our mental capacity. So the mental self influences our judgment. Environment does, and some things are circumstantial that influence our judgment as well. But for the most part, our mental self takes care of our judgment and our decision making abilities. Uh, you know, with from a mental foundation that looks like a lake where there is not settled, is going to come some unsettled and wobbly decision making. From a mental foundation that is like granite, you are going to come solid decisions. Um, and it determines our perspectives. And what I mean by perspectives, mentally, you know, our mind determines how we look at things. You guys ever been a part of a test? I know anybody who studies psychology has been in part of one of these tests or another, where they'll get 10 or 20 or 100 people together, and they will have they will stage an accident in front of them, and they will separate all 100 people, all 10. This is use 10. Separate 10 people, and they will sit them down and ask them what happened. You guys already know the answer, right? There's going to be 10 different versions of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody sees things the way they see them because of how your mind has been conditioned and programmed and how you have trained your mind to see something.
Can I say something?
Absolutely. Please do.
So I have been doing a daily prayer mantra, if you will. And one of the things I have been saying is that I am willing to change my perception of myself.
Yep.
How I do things. And what's been really interesting is that today I had some errands to run. And I didn't have any time constraints. But for whatever reason, like in my mind, I felt like I should have been wherever it was that I had to go at a certain time. And so all of a sudden I noticed I started to get uneasy. And then when I started to think about what was making me uncomfortable, it was because in my mind, I was allowing something different to happen in my life, but for some reason, it made me uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, all I have to say is that, you know, paying attention to it and, you know, again, going back to paying attention to the things that you speak into existence.
Absolutely.
And how they manifest almost instantly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A perfect example of what you just said about speaking something into existence. The NFL draft was a couple of days ago. There was a kid that got picked with the 15th pick of the draft. And it was like the perfect storm. It was the perfect team for this guy, and he plays the position that this team needs. And so it was one of those little perfect little things that happened. And they showed his backstory. And when he was, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 years old, he wrote something on Christmas. He said, I am going to grow up and be an NFL player. I don't know what team, however, I am going to do it. And they showed that there was a picture. His mom kept that picture. There is power in your words. You guys see, he was 6. He was 6, and people might say, oh, no, he's a little kid and he don't know. Yes, yeah, 6, 7 years old, you know, the mind is powerful. I believe we're born with all of this, our mental powers, and then it's designed, society and 3D is designed that from the time we split the Y until 7 years old, they do everything in their power to make sure that we're scrambled brains. They treat us like we're just the biggest idiots. And when you talking to a baby, the baby probably be looking at you like, what are you saying, man? What's that? Speak, it's just the development of things. It's the development of things.
Can I say something before I forget? I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Today in my session, I was sharing that when I moved, I'm from the Bronx, and we don't really go, I don't go to the beaches. We have Orchard Beach, but it's nothing like the California beaches. Like East Coast, it's a masculine beaches compared to California is feminine, because it took me 15 minutes to realize I was looking at a beach when I went to visit a beach in Oceanside. 15 minutes.
Wow.
Because my brain is not used to seeing a beach.
Yes.
It is not. And so I was telling my client, I said, can you imagine when your body is giving you something new, how long it will take you for you to realize it's something new?
Absolutely.
It takes a while. It takes a while. And so
I know for a fact.
Therapy conversation is not an everyday conversation. That's why I like it, because it's not an everyday conversation.
Absolutely. And you're right. And I'm a firm believer, and I know this to be true, that you got to do something at least 88 days in a row for it to become a permanent thing. Repetition is what breeds familiarity. You're just not going to pick up something, or like you said, introduce your body to something new. Say you've been eating cardboard all your life, and now all of a sudden you want to start eating nails. You ain't gonna be able to just stop. You ain't gonna be able to just pick up some nails and start eating them today. You're gonna have to wean off the cardboard and start weaning into the nail. You can't just. And your body, the first couple of days, your body gonna be like, hey dog, what is this? I'm not used to this. What's happening? Wait. Absolutely. And it's all about how you see things, how you look at things, how the scene affects your mental mind. What picture does your mind make when you think about it? That's what our perspective is. And then from the picture that your mind paints or takes of any situation, circumstance, or endeavor, then the proper reaction that we have already programmed in ourselves will come out. If it's something that pleases us, then the mental reaction, then the physical reaction from the mental will be pleasant. If it's something that disturbs us, it'll be guarded. If it's something that threatens us, we'll be aggressive. That's just how it is. It's all first from the perspective, from the mind. So with that being said, the first thing that we all have to do, and some of us like me got to do this every morning, and that is assessing your personal state of mind. Anybody else on this call, and I'm gonna get to this in a minute, but I knew I was different. I use the word different now. When I was a kid, I said crazy. I knew I was different at about 6 or 7 years old, when I could see folks and shapes and things in the house and in the yard that nobody else could see. And I could hear shit that I knew people didn't hear it because they wasn't reacting like it was. Because if they heard the same thing I heard, they would have had the same look on their face or the same reaction or the same internal reaction. So yeah, I never took myself too serious, but I always believe my most humble hype. You know what I mean? Never was the reluctant spokesman, but once you put me in the spokesman position, then you're gonna have to hear what I gotta say. You know, I'm not, yeah. Assessing your personal state of mind. Anybody go through a mental health check list every morning? I thought I was crazy last week, especially on Wednesday. I sure did think it was Thursday. Look, 2 people on this call got text from me, blissful rising, blissful Thursday rising. Then I was like, oh wait. I mean, I was on a call waiting on folks, getting an attitude because they wasn't on the call. I was a whole day ahead. Anybody do a mental health assessment, or you just be like, oh, okay, it is what it is? Or do you check yourself? Do you find yourself forgetting something like that you thought about 5 minutes ago, but you can remember what you wore at your junior high graduation?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Somebody asked me something about an hour ago, and I've been sitting here while we've been on this call, rolling back in my head. What did they ask me? But if you ask me what I wore to 8th grade, to the 8th grade icebreaker dance, I could tell you. What I really want to talk about, because of all of the shenanigans that go on, you know, mental illness is a very real, and it affects or has affected all of us. Ain't none of us gotten away with ducking the lick of having either a close family member, a cousin, a co-worker, hell, maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend, a spouse, you know, maybe somebody at the store. Yeah, mental illness is very, very, very real, and there isn't, ain't nobody have no bottom line. You know, what's the least amount of nuts? You know, there's no like bottom. So, you know, yes. You had something that I'm
Mental health is very sneaky.
Absolutely, it is
a very fine line.
It's quiet, it's sneaky. You could literally go to bed tonight with your right mind and wake up on some other planet tomorrow and still be in your bed. It's that fast. And there are no warning signs, there ain't no symptoms. And there's, you know, like a cold, you start sniffling and all of that. You don't get no symptom. There's no big light that pops up over your head talking about you getting ready to go crazy, man. It doesn't happen like that. Mental illness is quiet, and it affects, like I said, it affects all of us. You know, all of us then whether we know it or not, we have dealt with and have been influenced by somebody that has been besieged with some form of mental illness. Can't get around it. Mental illness is very real and affects all of us. Yes, Jolene, go ahead. So what, and then what I really want to talk about is nobody on this planet, nobody on 3D is normal. Anybody on this call think you're normal? I want you to open up your microphone and tell me why. What's so normal about you?
You know what? Can I share something?
Absolutely, please do.
So I have taken the Myers-Briggs personality test like a few times. And it's interesting, like for some reason, like I must have read that test and then just didn't pay attention to some things. But anyway, come to find out I'm an IN, what was it, INF, whatever it is.
Right.
But anyway, long story short, it said that my personality type, which was an advocator or an advocate,
Uh-huh.
my personality type make up 1% is, it only makes up 1% of the people on the planet.
Right.
So you ask the question, does anybody feel like they're different? It's funny because like, I just thought that was like absolutely hilarious. Because I'm just like, I've always felt different, but I'm like, how would I know what feels different from other people? You know what I mean?
Well, and for you, Victoria, is even more different because you left-handed.
Right.
So it ain't yeah, it wasn't a lot of stuff made for y'all. I mean, I remember being in school where the left-handed kids would be, sometimes they'd be crying because I can't use these damn scissors because they they put them in the right hand. I remember that. Yes.
You know what, for me, and I guess, because I have a lot of Gemini, or at least 3 planets in my Gemini. So as a result of being left-handed and not having all the tools available for me, it forced me to adapt. And so there are actually things that I'm better with my right hand as opposed to my left hand.
Absolutely, because you had no choice.
Right. It forced me to adapt.
Absolutely. So no one is normal. If people, especially right now, they everybody want to. Well, we just want to get back to normal. It wasn't normal before. I don't know what they think it was going on, but it wasn't nothing normal about what was happening before. No one is normal. Each one of us are unique. I tell everybody, be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Ain't nothing normal. All of us, this is what I wrote. No one is normal. We are all a little nuts. If you don't identify with the quirky, off balance, borderline, crazy things about you, then you're not ready to embrace your full self. You're not. I know I'm not. I know I'm a nutty professor. I know I could get scatterbrained. I know I got a couple of 187s I could do and go right to sleep. I wouldn't have a problem. I could shoot somebody in their ass and go right to sleep and not even have a problem. And that's strange. Yeah, go ahead.
It's funny that you mentioned like the number of people that you say that have mental illness around us, but then like, let's talk about our moments of insanity.
Absolutely. My own moments of insanity. I ain't talking about nobody else. I'm talking about how my mental illness has affected all the people I done dealt with. I used to run these offices, so I know, I done affected some folks with my mental illness because I was a tyrant as a boss. I didn't. Somebody it came around to a evaluation time of the year, and this one employee didn't take any sick time and didn't call out sick or miss any days for the whole year, right? So we're in the review, and I'm the manager, and I checked on that box where it said attendance. It said you could meet, you could fail standard, meet standard, or exceed standard. So y'all already know I put she met the standard because she came to work every day. So when I gave it to her, she looked at it, she was like, oh my God, this is wrong. I should get exceed standard. I said, how should you get exceeding the standard when you showed up every day? You were supposed to be here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and that's what you did. You didn't work Monday through Sunday, 24 hours a day. If you'd worked every day for 24 hours a day, that's exceeding the standard. Your standard was to show up every day. Yeah. They thought I was mentally ill. Yeah. They thought I wasn't
That's a little
normal.
harsh.
How?
I mean,
How?
I mean, can't you
Okay.
like just, have like a little, I don't know, a curve or something? I don't know.
Well, and I told them, I said, they always came to me about incentive. I said, your incentive to come to work happened twice a month on payday. That's the only incentive you need to show up, right? What do you mean you need extra money to come? Should have asked for that when you was negotiating your job. I did. That's what I did. So I don't need an incentive. Assessing your personal state of mind. I told you I was mental. I was really, really, but there was a bunch of other stuff going on around there too. Cause I was in corporate America and wasn't too many of me in the position that I was in. So I was putting out fires and fighting spiritual battles that was going on that had much more to do than just me being in that office, which direction, assessing your personal state of mind, which direction does your mental moral compass point? What do you think about self-defense? What do you think about freedom of speech? What do you think about defending your stances and your beliefs? Which direction does your mental moral compass? Do you think do you look to get over on everybody or just certain people or no one? What do you do when nobody's watching you, or at least you think no one's watching you? Which direction does your mental moral compass point? Does it always point up to the high flying disc, or is it spinning and never settled on anything? Your morality doesn't come from your heart. Your morality comes from your mind and how you perceive things. Which direction? I put it this way: I am not for murder, but I will defend my own life. Yeah, I'm never for murder. However, if it's me and you, I'm gonna make sure that my version of the story is the only one being told. Yeah, sure will. That's where my moral compass points towards self-preservation. Protecting me and mine. I will protect me and mine. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to turn the other cheek. If you hit me in my mouth, I'm going to hit you in yours. If you come to steal my stuff, I'm going to put up a fight. I'm not just going to give you my stuff. I'm going to put up a fight. That's my moral compass. I believe that people should leave other people's stuff alone and you should keep your hands to yourself. If we followed those two rules, this world would be a whole different place. If people would leave other people's stuff alone and keep their hands to themselves, solve a whole lot of problems, man. Whole lot of problems. Which direction does your mental moral compass point? You got something to add on that one, Victorious?
No, I was just thinking about one of those moments of insanity. One of my neighbors moved my laundry out of the machine. And I had a real issue with that. And I had a moment, needless to say.
Look, I don't want nobody touching my drawers either. I'm like, look, you can come knock on the door or something. Yeah. Which direction does look? I don't go out looking for fights. I don't go out, being all aggressive and all that. But I guarantee you, if a fight walk up to me, it's not gonna get past. Yeah, you're not just gonna come. You're not gonna exercise your free speech rights without consequences if you cross the line with me. Nobody gets a pass. December 31st, 2015, that was the end of all passes. You say some dumb shit to me and you're going to get checked. It don't matter who you are. I don't care. You have the right to free speech, but you never have the right to disrespect me. Anybody else feel like that? Or am I the only one over here? Yeah,
Uh,
you can say what you want, but you do not have a right to disrespect me.
Yeah, I think I have a higher tolerance. I used to get jumped a lot in elementary and junior high, and then I think earlier than that. And my mother got tired of me coming home beat up, so she got my sister. And my older sister, she used to pick me up, make sure I get home all right. But she's older and she had a life. And she said, Joe, are you getting tired of me picking you up? And I said, no, I want to stay with my sister. You know, I want to be with you. And she said, what I am, do something about it. And she was letting me know that I do not need to lose a fight anymore.
Right.
And I never lost a fight since. I
What?
never lost a fight since. And the last time I got jumped was in high school with 2 girls.
What?
And that was it. That was the last.
All right.
And then, you know, it's what, and my sister's like almost God to me at
It's
that
how
time.
you think. It's how you think.
Yeah.
Until I got to the point to where I didn't give a fuck what nobody thought, I was a little punk crybaby, sensitive little punk. After I got to that point, that jumping off point, yeah, turned totally different. Don't come up here talking crazy to me, because I got something to say, and I'm not afraid to say it. And I don't think anybody is bad enough to stop me from saying what I want to say. If they are, I haven't met them yet. Not yet. Number 2, are your thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes authentically yours? Are your thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes authentically yours? Or it's like this. I was thinking about it just like this. If we were kids and we had a computer, the stuff on our computer would be for our age range. It'd be, you know, we'd have a bunch of games, and you know, as we grew older, we'd probably have more study material and things like that. And then when we get to our age, you know, it's you know, if we're using it for a business, what I mean is there's an evolution in the things. Have your thoughts and beliefs and attitudes authentically evolved, or are you still trapped by folks who influenced / bullied you into toxic mental patterns? Anybody bullied into toxic mental patterns? Couldn't think for yourself and was afraid to express yourself, and or was told over and over, you ain't shit, you ain't gonna be shit, you just like your daddy, you're the liar, you fast, keep it up, you're gonna end up like her.
Anybody grew up in the 70s was definitely a part of that life.
I'm telling you, who influenced / bullied you into
I
thinking?
dealt with that growing up.
Huh?
I dealt with that growing up until like my early 20s.
Absolutely. And it makes us form these toxic mental patterns that unless we you know, do our shadow work and confront it and get rid of it, we will just continually repeat those same old patterns, and we'll continually take the same old type of treatment, and we'll continually attract that treatment. Because if you have those toxic mental patterns, then you're attracting, because you're thinking toxically mentally, and you're going to attract toxically mental stuff into your life. What you think about all day and how you think is what comes into your manifestation.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
So this kind of goes back to something you just mentioned earlier too, assessing your personal state of mind daily.
Yes.
And so I had this whole thing about a week ago where I started to really pay attention to the things I was saying to myself. So today I went to my mom's house and my cousin was there, and she's probably about maybe 11 or 12 years older than me. And I made a statement about something that I didn't know. And she said to me, you're so smart. And the way she said it, she wasn't saying it in a nice way. She was being sarcastic.
A backhanded slap. Yeah.
So I looked at her and I let it go. So I made another statement. She made the same statement again. I said, okay. And so Stella looked at me and was like, so I said, that's the last time she'll ever make that statement to me. I said, but for the sake of just peace today, I'm gonna let it go. But
Absolutely.
it has been duly noted, and she got one more time.
Absolutely.
But all that
Absolutely.
to say is this one last thing too, is that me going back and paying attention, because I have said those things to myself.
Hmm.
And so I heard this lady make a statement one time. She said, don't say things to yourself that you wouldn't allow somebody else to say to you.
Absolutely.
And like ever since then, like that just really like that spoke to me.
Absolutely.
So all that to
Absolutely.
say, sorry,
Absolutely.
I had to share that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. You know, some of us got attitudes and beliefs and mindsets that that we haven't evolved from since childhood. Still those same basic level thoughts and beliefs and attitudes that haven't evolved. And I have to ask people who are trapped like that, are you afraid to think freely? I mean, I know when I was a kid, my mother was a Los Angeles Rams fan, and because my mother was a Los Angeles Ram fan, I was a Los Angeles Ram fan, and that lasted until I was like 12 or 13. And I had to do this secretly because I couldn't go against my mother. I had to secretly root for the Patriots while all the while sitting there watching those Rams game every Sunday. I used to be so sick of the Rams I could throw up when I was a kid. But I had to secretly, yes, because my mother, because I was bullied into that. Yeah, I was bullied. Are you afraid? Yeah, everything. The if you look at the emotionally charged rhetoric that goes on daily here in this country about any subject, you pick any subject, and there are two equally intense sides that are ready to just to debate to the death till they start frothing at the mouth. Are you afraid to think freely, or are you just gonna keep those beliefs because you built your whole life around that, and if you challenge or change or poke a hole in any part of it, then oh damn, what does that mean to your whole life?
I think I still go through that with my mother. Even with this house, she said, "Oh, she said congratulations in a doubt," and
Yes.
she's always done that to me. And a couple of years in the '90s, I wanted to buy a condo overlooking Yankee Stadium. I
Right.
told her, and she just took my happiness from that little thought, and I never pursued it.
She
You
just
know, and
poked a
I
hole.
say, and I'm just getting my house now at 53. And then it's like
Right.
over the years, I said, this is bigger than, I had to realize this is bigger than mommy. I'm not a little girl.
Absolutely.
I don't need her
You don't
yes
need her
all the
approval. You
time.
don't need her validation or approval.
Yeah,
You
I
don't.
don't. And I'm like, if I would have got that little small condo right now, that thing would have been like millions of worth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we give people our hopes and our dreams and 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 our ambition by needing their validation, and we put it all in one of those balloons that got the helium and is on a string, and as long as we got it the string and it's right here, but as soon as we give it to them, they do it every time they get a pin and poke a hole in it, just
Yeah.
let all the air out of your stuff. Every
Mm,
leave your ass deflated. And they go on. That's the mental bullying I'm talking about.
yep, it is. It's there.
It has you afraid to think freely. You can't, I can't, I can't never, I couldn't go opposite of my mother. Are you kidding?
Hmm.
Are you kidding? I couldn't, I had to agree with everything that she said. Everything, even if it was blatantly wrong or a lie, I still had to just be like, or risk chastisement and hell expulsion from the house. I didn't know that they really wouldn't kick me out of the house. I didn't I didn't know that. You know, they was pretty tough. Um, Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Are you afraid to think freely? I know everybody on this call is thinking freely now, but there were times when we haven't, and I'm definitely was pressured by that. Lastly, we're gonna run on. We're gonna run on. How many of here on this call then heard this or had this said to you? I didn't had this said to me literally hundreds or if not 1,000 times. Who do you think you are?
Mm.
I put parentheses after think. I put no because it really is a question that you need to ask yourself. And you don't need to ask it as who do you think you are? You need to ask it, who do you know you are? Your mind sets that. Nothing else sets that. Your mind. So as a man thinketh, so shall he be, or whatever that quote is. Who do you know you are? Who do you know you are? Whose dreams are you living out? You in your job because of you? Did you go to college because you wanted to, or your parents told you you had to? Whose goals are you manifesting? Whose dreams are you pursuing because of mental abuse or mental manipulation? We just talked about that, Jolene. Or delusional thought patterns. We all know. Each one of us on this call got a friend or a family member or somebody that we knew or grew up with that was delusional as hell. That would just off in fantasy, off in la la land. Way out there. I mean, there's speaking to an existence, and then there's just totally you ain't gonna never do that type of stuff. I'm talking somebody that's in that you ain't gonna never do that type of delusions. Yeah, I've had a buddy that no matter what you did, he top you. He could beat you. He done did it too. He done did it. If you drank 2 kegs of beer, he drank 7 and still made it to work. Yeah. Delusional thought patterns. Um, are you living out your dreams? Are you chasing your goals? Or somebody else points you in a direction and you just start. What do you think about what you do right now? Each one of us does something. Ask yourself, sit down in that mirror, sit down in front of the mirror, and ask yourself, who do I know I am? Who am I? And whose dreams am I chasing? Are you chasing your own? You chasing somebody else's? Some that were forced on you, some that were manipulated to you, or you doing what you truly desire? And how do you think about what it is that you do right now? How do you think about your current situation as of 5:25 p.m. Pacific time, 7:25 p.m. Central, and 8:25 p.m. Eastern? How do you really feel about what you're doing and who you are? And if you look in the mirror right now, are you okay with what you see? Knowing who you are right now. If you're not, then you know what you got to do. You have the power to change that disappointment if you are disappointed. If you're thrilled, you also have the power to encourage that and get more thrilled. If your present existence is thrilling, then invest more into whatever it is you're doing and you'll get more thrilling. If your present existence is not thrilling, then do everything that you have to make it thrilling. Change your perspective. Your whole situation can change if you just change how you see something. Instead of pointing out what you didn't do or pointing out the negatives, point out the positives and celebrate your victories and learn and grow. Here at the Master Self Academy, there are no losses ever. We either win or we learn and grow. So with that, I'm going to shut it down for this evening. I'm very grateful for everybody to be here. I want to open it up before we shut down. I just want, if anybody has anything they want to say in closing before I close it out, I'm feeling somebody got something they want to say. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to shut up now. Spirit Butterfly, you okay over there?
Yes, I'm actually delivering products
Absolutely.
right now
Absolutely.
downtown.
I am very glad that you shoved me into your workday. I am appreciative, and I'm sending you positive outcome energy and complete and utter abundance energy so that it covers you in all of your endeavors.
Yes, yes, thank you.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Be safe out there, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Thank you for showing up. Anybody
Mhm.
else? If not, I'm gonna bring it to a close, and I just want to close with one of my favorite Smart Aleck comments that I say to people, especially when they want to start talking about you think you know everything. I always say no, I don't know everything, but I know a lot. And I also tell them right after that, I say I've forgotten more than I remember, and I remember more than I have forgotten. With that, I say keep coming back. Your master self awaits you. And if there's nothing else, I'm going to say goodbye for now. And I will see you guys. Be well.
Good night.
Be good to yourself. Good night, everyone.
Good night.